Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys for clicking on that button. Since you're clicking buttons, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Today I want to talk again about Tia Mowry. Yes, I want to talk about Tia Mowry again because, I am grifting on this. Yes, I want to get clicks and views. But I also want to talk about a serious topic though. So Tia, she came out and made a video that I want to show you, and I did a little review on it, but I want to go to a deeper topic. And I was talking to a friend, and I was talking about how, technology has changed things, in our day-to-day lives, and it's changed people's attitudes and mentalities. And I talked about my grandmother's generation and my grandmother, how she was, quiet and never had a driver's license and things like that. And what the change was in the next generation, her children, how did they think? So before we get into that, let's go straight into this review that I did of Tia Mowry, and then we'll go into the topic for today. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel.
I would tell myself that it is okay to want more for yourself. It is okay to say no. It is okay to value what you desire, value your self-worth. It is okay to not be perfect. It is okay to speak your truth. It is okay to be you. The advice that I have for people entering their 40s, let's see, really enjoy the ride. In your 40s, you start to really realize how short life is.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it right there, and I just want to do a quick analysis on this video that Tia is talking about. The one thing I noticed in this video is that I feel like Tia was going through like a midlife crisis. And I've been through that myself, so I understand exactly what she's saying, because you do realize how this thing called life is not forever, okay? But I think in her circumstance, and a lot of women, and once again, we're using Tia as like a microcosm. Basically, she got married or got with her ex-husband at a young age. And once you hit this midlife crisis, you look back and say, I didn't get to do this and I didn't get to do that. And you also heard her talk about her wants and desires. My own personal feeling about this, and I know that you in the comment section and the people watching this, there are people out there who tend to show me in the comments that, everything is about them. It's about what I want. It's like a self-centered, entitled nature that is going on in society now. But here's the thing. I personally feel that growing up as someone who was in the Catholic Church and raised in Catholic school, I was raised with different values where a lot of times you put other people ahead of you and you think about, other people. Now, do I know as a grown adult that those values don't align with the majority of people? Yes. But when you have kids, a lot of your wants and desires, they should go out of the window, Now, me personally, I have 2 children, and I want a lot of things. I want a Ferrari. I want a Mercedes Benz. I want all of these different things. But you know what? I can't have those things because I have to pay their tuition. I have to pay for their sports. I have to pay for their insurance. I have to provide them with a roof over their head. I have to buy food. So my wants and desires tend to go out of the window, and they're ahead of me for the time being. So that's what I'm seeing from this clip so far. So let's go and see what else she has to say.
The perspective that it gave me was how short life really is. Continue to walk with gratitude, right? Because wearing these glasses, having this gray hair, that is a privilege. That is a blessing to be able to be here and to get the opportunity to live. I feel like it is the biggest and best blessing. The advice that I would give is understand that change is constant. You're not going to be young forever. Know that change is okay. And also know that there are better things on the horizon. That life is really what you make of it. I think how I've changed from 45 to 46. Another thing is I am no longer a people pleaser. I feel like I used to feel like I had to say yes to everything, even though it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And it could be just like influences from society and the world. You should be this way. You should be that way. You should be this by this time. I feel like how I've changed is I am living my life now. I am living the life that I want to live for myself. Whatever decisions that I decide to do and make, I'm very mindful about it. Does that align with what I want for myself? Does that align with what I want for my future self?
All right, so let's stop it right there and let's just talk about this. She wants to live her life for her and what makes her happy, and it's all about me, I. Once again, that's where we're at, and that's cool. If that's where y'all want to be, that's cool. But I feel like this is something that's come along with the rise of social media. Everybody's a star. Everybody on their Instagram account, they're their own celebrity. And everything's about me. There's this entitlement and everything like that. And once again, I'm not fighting against any of this. Society does condition you to say, I have to be in this box and I have to live this way. And it's an internal conflict that you deal with. And, you know, in today's day and age, people are moving like Tia did. Well, you know, I was unsatisfied in this, and, you know, this isn't serving me. So this marriage isn't serving me. This family unit that I have is not serving me. I want to do something else. So I'm going to break up this family unit. And I'm going to, you know, pursue what makes me feel happy and what is, you know, fulfills me. Now, once again, you have to remember, what about the child that you brought into this world? What I have found is that people do not care about that aspect. That's what YouTube and these comment sections have showed me. But I don't, you know, listen, I'm going to live my life the way I'm going to live it. And I'm going to put my children first, and I'm going to think about my children and how the actions that I take are going to affect them. Okay? Right or wrong or whatever. I do think about that. But this is where we find us. This is where she's at. And let's see what else she has to say.
And then also, I think the word for me is reciprocity. It's like I actually am worth reciprocity. And it doesn't matter where it is, whether it's in the workforce, whether that's in friendship, or whether that's in relationships. I am just looking for reciprocity, and it has been a game changer for me.
So to close this review out of her video, basically, you know, she's on this journey of self-care, self-worth, and all of these things. She's on a journey to find herself because, you know, she lost herself in her marriage. She couldn't do these things inside the covenant of marriage, which, like I said, at this point does not mean anything. So therefore, for the average person, really, why should you get married if, you know, once you hit a midlife crisis and you run into some bumps and some problems, you're just going to say, it's not serving me anymore. I want out and I want to do something else. So what's the point in marriage? Because when you get married and you're standing up there, you know, in front of your friends and family, the pastor, the preacher, whoever's marrying you, he says, you know, in sickness and health till death do you part. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. So what's the point in doing that is the question. So let's talk about it in the comment section. And let's go ahead and get back to the video. We'll go ahead and finish it up from here. All right, guys. So you saw my synopsis on that, on Tia's midlife crisis, basically. She is feeling the effects in her life that, you know, I did everything that I was told to do. You know, I got married. I had kids. You know, I had a suburban house, and it's not what I thought it would be. I understand that. Okay. So let's talk about it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and this is an observation that I had about my grandmother. To be honest with you, I don't even really remember my grandmother speaking very much. I think I might have heard her say just a few words. She was always really quiet. She did not have a driver's license. And so some could look at that as if, she depended on my grandfather too much. She didn't have as much independence. She had to depend on a man for everything. Some can look at it like that. So her children probably looked at her, and it's not just my particular family, but many women across the United States probably looked at their mother and said, you know what? I don't want to do that. Just as my generation, my kids' generation, they're going to look at me as their parent and say, I want to do things differently. But that generation of women probably looked at that woman and said, you know what? I want my independence. I want to go to school. I want to get a good corporate job, and I want to be independent. And so due to this, there's a market, because now you have women with cash in their pocket. And so the marketers on Fifth Avenue, they want to get some of that money out of the pockets of those women. So they're going to do a marketing campaign, a psychological marketing campaign to generate revenue. Okay. And so these women went to school, they got jobs, they have money, but they still, oftentimes got in a relationship for that generation, and they got married. Okay. But they have more freedoms. So let's take a look at this video from this lady who used to work for Cosmopolitan, and she's going to talk about the propaganda that was used to manipulate women, or to maybe to market them and to guide them in a certain direction. So let's take a look at this here.
How do we get to the point where so many young women today think to be free is to go to college, get a great degree, have a fantastic job, and be as sexually free as possible? How did those get joined together? Well, that was the question that people began to ask me after I had left Cosmo, and I began to investigate it. You have to understand a bit about how propaganda works. Propaganda isn't just a bunch of lies. People think, oh, propaganda, I can spot it in a minute because it's just a bunch of lies. No, propaganda is a very sophisticated, it's half-truth, selected truth, and truth out of context. Is used not to sell just products, it's also used to sell ideas. The feminist movement and the sexual revolution were two radically different movements. The feminist movement was fighting for equal opportunity for women in education and the workforce. The sexual revolution was fighting for all sorts of sexual freedoms. Cosmo, we pretended that this sexual revolution was a freedom for women. It actually was not. It was actually kind of a slavery, but we pretended it was freedom for women. And over time, as the sexual revolution and the women's movement got identified closer and closer together, a lot of women began to buy into that illusion.
All right, so you saw that. So let's get into this. Let's get into the consumerism piece, and we'll get into the individualism and the other isms that cause this dynamic that we're dealing with now, especially with the rise of technology. So now the people on Fifth Avenue, they want you to consume. That's what we are in America now. We used to be producers. Now we are consumers of everything. These bags, luxury bags, are a status symbol that you worked hard and you've made it in life. The Mercedes-Benz, the brands like Dior, Chanel, Louis Vuitton. So you have this consumerism. But what they don't understand is that these items aren't really what life is about. Life is about relationships, family, love and all of that other stuff. Love amongst family, the bond that you have. Because when you leave here, all of those items will still be here. But there was a report that recently came out about these luxury handbags that it only cost them about $57 to make it. They're making them in sweatshops, and then they'll sell them for $2,500, $5,000 and more. And so that's the consumerism piece. Now let's bring in the rise of technology and Instagram and Facebook and all of these social media platforms where you can be your own celebrity and you can show off your wares. You can show off your lifestyle. You can put your best foot forward and present yourself in the best light possible, literally. And that's where the individualism comes in with the selfies and all of that. Now, when we talk about selfies, usually that's, generally a more feminine thing. So if you see a man taking a lot of selfies, that's a little, I don't know, I don't want to go there. But a man who takes selfies all day, you got to kind of watch him a little bit, okay? It's a sign of narcissism. And other men might look at that a certain way. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments about a man who, takes selfies and puts filters on his, selfies and stuff like that. Just tell me what you guys think about that and hit the like button. So now you have the rise of technology, the internet, Instagram. And now the American female can show off her wares, her consumerism and things like that. And then you have Tia Mowry, who has 12.6 million followers on Instagram and 7.6 million followers on TikTok. And you get a dopamine hit every time that you get likes. This is a scientific proven thing. That's how social media becomes addictive. All of the attention, all of the validation that you need, you can go to social media and get it. Okay? And I remember there was one, she likes to make a lot of TikTok videos and dances. And her ex-husband, I remember one time he was kind of like, why do we have to do that? Why do you have to do that so much? And that could be a situation where, she didn't like that. She wanted to be free. She wanted to get from underneath the thumb of this, man who's trying to say, hey, why don't you not, show off yourself like that on social media? She wanted to be free to do all this. And that's fine. Once again, I'm not here to say somebody can't do anything. You can do whatever you want. But that's what I see when I look at Tia Mowry. It's all of this stuff that started back in the 60s and 70s. It's a culmination of, she's the culmination of all of that. And the rise of technology and attention. In this attention-seeking society that we live in right now. Okay? And another observation that I had in that was obviously with Tia's situation and, the ending of her marriage with her ex-husband because she made more money than him. Now, once again, as women started to go to college and there was a push in corporate America to, elevate the woman, she started to make more money than the man. Okay? And this is an interesting dynamic, and I want you to tell me what you guys think about this. This here is about what a woman does when she gets money compared to what a man does. What is their individual mentality? I want you guys to comment on everything I'm talking about. If you have an opinion on something that I'm talking about, type it down in the comment section so we can have a conversation, and I will respond to you. I'll try. But when a man gets some money, this is a saying. He gets a pile of money and he thinks to himself, you know what? Now I can support a family. I can get a wife and I can have kids because I have the money to support them. But when a woman gets a pile of money, she thinks to herself, I don't need a man. So I find that interesting. I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this video on that. Don't want to make it too long. I want to hear your comments on this and tell me how wrong I am. And once again, I do want to end it with this, and I do want to say this. I'm sorry I was not able to interview every single person on the planet Earth to get their opinion before I made the video. So I want you guys to keep that in mind when you go into the comment section. I didn't have the time to interview the 7 billion people to ask them, like, well, what do you think, But I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you commenting down in the comment section. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers. And I'll see you in the next one.